Woo! Western road trip! Yes! Yes! Guys, let me get into something real quick, okay? Do you remember when we used to fear California? Do you remember that? It was like 2-3 years and then like a huge chunk of time before that. This is pretty recent. This is pretty recent as Leafs fans that we don't seem to have to fear the West Coast no more. They go down, they do their jobs, they get the job done, man. They come out with 3 W's. West Coast, Southern West Coast sweep. Right, Leslie? Right? Can we consider the Leafs an elite team yet? Oh, that's a good question, and I will get into that. Let's get into that right away before I get into some of the things I want to say. All right? I just wanted to point out that, yes, remember we used to fear the West Coast, and now it's like it's nothing, right? Boom! Right? Not afraid of nothing now, right? Because now they're playing like an elite team, and I say playing like an elite team. Okay? I say that, AKZ, because trust me, as much as I'm more hyped about this team than any team previous, I still am, even compared to last year. I think they're playing better this year, even. This is the most hyped I've been for a Leafs team in a long time, right? But it just keeps getting bigger and bigger each year. I really think big things are going to happen, but until they get it done in the first round, I don't know if you can consider them elite. Elite, you know? You gotta get some rounds under you. And I'm talking about strictly from a how do we measure success in the NHL type thing, right? Hey, right? This is no disrespect, as Austin Matthews would say in an interview. This is no disrespect to the Leafs, or anybody for that matter, that making the playoffs does not make you elite. Elite is like upper echelon, you know? And that's the team that can do that again and again and again, not just for one season, but for 5, 6, 7 in a row, you know? Now, the Leafs are getting there in terms of playoff appearances, but, you know, they got to start making some deep runs, at least one. We all know that you just need one where you win a cup, and no one can ever, like, say that you weren't elite that year, right? You won the cup. That's an elite thing to do, even just once. But winning a cup aside, you got to get some rounds under you in the playoffs before you can be considered elite. Elite, I think, in terms of the definition of the word. However, I still love this team, man, and I totally think they're capable of big things. Like I said earlier in the season, is there anybody that the Leafs should be afraid of this year? And I mean afraid of, like, oh my God, I don't know if they're going to win a single game against them this season. Is there anybody? Because I don't think there is, right? They are completely keeping up with everybody, right? No one seems to faze them. And they go in and they put up good shows almost every night. Almost every night, right? And Anaheim put up a good fight tonight. Look, this I know it was 5-1, okay? But you got an empty netter and then just a random goal after that because, let's face it, Anaheim had given up at that point, right? You let that empty netter in. That's what it does, man. It kills spirit. It kills spirit when that empty netter goes in. And that's why I warn coaches not to do it too soon, because even if, hypothetically, you get the same amount of points for a 2-1 loss as you do a 4-1 loss, or a 5-1 loss, I get that. When it is 2-1, you know that there's that hope. But when you see that empty netter go in, that's the nail in the coffin every time. You know, nobody feels motivated to come back after that. So you can't even really look at it like a 5-1. I look at this game as a solid 3-1 lead. That's what the Leafs won, right? They won a 3-1 game tonight. Because, you know, when it's that close in terms of, Anaheim came out so hot in the first. They came out so hot in the third. They looked dangerous, man. They were racking up shots in that first period. And I know they don't always have to be top quality shots, right? Like you could say that, 12 shots in the first period. What does that mean, right? There could be 2 really good ones and then 10 weak ones or whatever. Still, that's 10 weak ones. Try to get 10 shots in the NHL. People underestimate how hard that really is to get shots in the NHL. So to put up 12 in the first period, Anaheim was looking great, right? But Toronto just held them off. When you are playing at an elite level, right? You might not be an elite team, but if you're playing at that elite level, right? You know how to just hold them off sometimes. Just keep yourself in it, man. So when Anaheim comes out hot, you don't have to score goals right away. Just kind of like, hey, stay back. Let them tire themselves out, right? You ever wonder why in the martial arts movies you never see 2 guys just flailing at each other relentlessly, never blocking anything, right? That's offense in a hockey game too. Only one team can be punching at a time. Now sometimes you're trading punches pretty quick. You know, it's attack, right? But sometimes when you're getting a lot of flurry of hits coming your way, a skilled warrior knows how to just block. Just block. Let them tire themselves out. Defend. You're not getting anything through me. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Then you start attacking. You let them go first. You put up a good block, and I think that's what Toronto did tonight. I think Anaheim both times, first and third periods, came out super hot. And the reason why the Leafs were able to pull away the way they did is because they just held them off. Sometimes that's all you have to do. Then you'll see your breaks. And our offense is so good that you can't give them breaks. If you give Toronto breaks, they score. Like clean breaks, man, they score. They score a lot of times, you know? So the Leafs really made do with the shots they had.
Good one, Randy.
Right?
Good one.
The Leafs really did make use of their opportunities because Anaheim had more. But I mean, we got Campbell in net looking so good, right? Oh my goodness, leading the league in wins this season. Can we talk about that for a second? Right? Oh, jeez. What a guy, man. What a guy. I mean, okay, so they had one goal against, which kind of sucks because Campbell was playing at a shutout level. And the only reason that goal goes in is a little bit of bad coverage in front. You know, that drives me nuts. Right? Guy standing in front. They try to stop him. Now, in a situation like that, guys in front of your net, a shot gets thrown at the pads and there's a rebound, right? Ideal situation. The thing you should always be trying to do is lift their stick off the ice and use your feet to kind of direct the puck out, right? Battle with your feet, take their stick out of the equation because they're not allowed to kick it in, right? They might get a deflection, sure, but a stick, I mean, it could go any which way and it's going to count. But if you take their stick away, they got to be careful with their feet now, so it limits their chances. And now you get to use your feet to try and block it or deflect it away. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, I think both D in this case were too far away from that dude in front, so all they could do is stretch out with the stick and hopefully just pin him down or something. They couldn't. Buddy shoves it under Campbell, and there goes the shutout, right? So that kind of sucked. Right? But straight up, man, I think he did a good job. I think he's on fire, and as long as he keeps it up, man, watch out, Toronto. That's all we've been really missing, you know? That's all we've been really missing. Some solid superstar level goaltending in the playoffs. So let's see if we get that this year, you know, because he did great last year, but he did great as a backup taking the starting position, right? That's what he did great as last year. I can't expect any more of the guy. That's the situation he was thrown in. And there was a couple goals in the playoffs that sure we didn't like to see. But again, a backup, career backup, you know, multiple years coming in as a starter in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's a tough situation for a goalie to be in. And he looks like he's coming out nice. This season. So he's ready to play, and I don't care about no bad goals like that. That's the defense's fault, or their team defense, I should say. And it's going to happen sometimes, especially when you get that far ahead in the lead. You get comfortable, sloppy mistakes happen. It sucks for goalies. It sucks. But hopefully they're you know, people can look past that. It was basically a shutout tonight, right? So that's what I thought about the game, man. I mean, I don't know what else you guys want to talk about in terms of the Leafs. I know there's a lot of other stuff going on in the NHL right now. Some pretty crazy stuff, right? But yeah, I think that's it. For what I think about the Leafs. If you guys want to ask more questions about it, cool. But if not, we can talk about some of the other stuff real quick because it just got chaotic in the NHL, right?